Hey world, this is Jamie, host of the Jamie and Genty Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports, soccer, basketball, to football, and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie and Genty Show. Hope to see you soon on Fishbowl Radio Network. Jump in. Welcome to the Beyond the Game podcast on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie. It's Tuesday, August the 11th, 2026. How's everyone doing out there? That's good. So we got a lot to talk about, man. It's been crazy over the last week or so. Always talk about the league itself, and the league is getting out of control. So I wanted to talk about that in the second part of the show. But first, I want to give you a Don Nelson tribute because he passed away on Sunday. Don Nelson was he pissed me off. His offense, Nelly ball as they call it, Nelly ball. They run a lot of fast break stuff. His offense killed me. It was the Spurs every series against his team. Dirk got in the mid, in the elbow. Dirk would take his man one-on-one, and he would shoot that jump shot over his defender, and that's what Nelson's ball was. His offense was. It was just innovative. It wasn't difficult to guard. It was just out of place. It was just hard to defend. And me being a Spurs fan and seeing that as a kid, I was like, man, Nelly, please stop. But anyways, I like to send my prayers and well wishes to the Nelson family. I know Donnie used to be the assistant coach, vice president for the Dallas Mavericks up until 2021. And he'll be greatly missed. Had a close relationship with Dirk and Steve Nash and Michael Finley. I mean, honestly, that era from 2000 to 2006, that was the best era in Mavericks history. The Mavericks made it to the finals once. It was Avery Johnson that took over. So he gave Avery Johnson the opportunity to take over his team back in 2005, 2006, one of those years. And he was still around, but I knew that something was wrong, and he'll be missed. He'll be missed. But let's get to training camp, guys. I know that we're not in training camp this year, so I'm looking forward to the Cowboys having their practices here in the next couple of weeks or before the season starts. So I wrote down some things when I was watching the interviews from 105.3 Fan last week when they were out there in Oxnard. They interviewed Christian Parker, CeeDee Lamb, Caleb Downs, the rookie, Javonte Williams, the 1,000-yard running back from last year, and Jalen Thompson, who could become a star one day. So I wrote down some things, and I want to give you my analysis on what I noticed about their body language that's going to head into the season for the Dallas Cowboys. So number one, let's start with Christian Parker. Now, what I noticed is that Christian takes no BS. I noticed that Christian has a chip on his shoulder. He wants the players to succeed, which is why I feel like our defense is young. I feel like we have all the tools to make a difference in 2026 defensively. It's not going to be like last year where we were last in every category. I think we're going to come there versatile. We're going to come there hard, play physical, every single possession. And so to me, I like my defensive coordinator to be intentional, to be honest, to have his door open so that if a player misses an assignment, he can be the one to correct it. And they put an elite defensive staff around him. So basically, he's in charge at 35, 36 years old, and I feel like he's going to get the job done. He does speak into existence. He's I can't call him one of the best because he came from Philly, and it's just he just puts a smile on my face because I want the physicality from my defensive coordinator. I want to see a physical front put together. All 11 guys coming to the back to the football and making plays, making a difference. Number 2, CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver 1. It looks like CeeDee Lamb's taking the growth path. You know, when I heard him interview last week, and I said, okay, CeeDee Lamb's taking the growth path a little bit. The drops unnecessary, but I feel like he's going to catch everything this year. As long as Zach puts the ball where it's supposed to be, he will catch it. He vies with the defense every day because obviously the defense is coming up front. They're coming hard for him because he's going to experience double teams. And you know how you fight a double team? You just knock your hands out of the knock their arms away and get open. CeeDee Lamb has to be physical this year. I expect him to catch everything. Maybe have 1-2 jobs. Maybe not every game has to be a drop. You have to be that elite wide receiver. Be better than Justin Jefferson. I know that's a stretch, but be better than one of the best in the game. Now, I expect CeeDee to have 1,000-yard receiving, and I would say about maybe 5 to 10 touchdowns. I'm gonna put that on the 5 to 10 touchdowns for me for CeeDee Lamb. Number 3, Caleb Downs. I like this rookie's personality. I like his personality because I feel like he can bring something to the table. Today, he wants to put a great front up and say, you know what, I can be the best at anything. That's what he's trying to do, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him for trying to be the greatest safety. Wants to be the greatest safety of all time. That's if the career resumes. So what I know is that he wants to do film study, so he's getting better every day. He wants to play in the preseason, even though Brian Schottenheimer will not give him that opportunity. I feel like I want to see Caleb Downs for 1 or 2 plays, maybe play in the preseason. Let's see what he can give. He's still young, so let's see what he can do on the field. Give him that opportunity against Seattle and see what they can make it put up. Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year in the cards. That's what I noticed about this guy. This guy can do it. And, it seems like he's a mellow guy. It seems like he doesn't take no BS. I think he wants to be the best in the game. So that's why you take film study seriously, because you want to correct every mistake that's on film. That way you can go on the field and just flat out dominate. Number 4, Javonte Williams, the running back. He had 1,000-yard rushing last year. Can he go for another one this year? It looks like it's going to be effective. Our offensive line is going to be great. He wants to be the best. I think he could be the best at his position. So I feel like he's going to be RB1, just trying to maneuver and get to the next hole. I'm itching for Javonte to get at least 4 to 5 yards a game. If you can give me that, the Cowboys don't have to throw a pass every second down, getting the third down. Because I know if they get to third down after an incompletion, second down, then it's going to be very difficult to convert that 35. And then Brian Schottenheimer's foolishness will say, let's go for it. No matter what the thought process is. But I expect Javonte to be better than what people are saying. Number five, my last and final interview I'm going to analyze is Jalen Thompson, the safety. He goes unnoticed. Where do you put him on the field? I think he's been challenged every game. I think he's going to be one of the best. I honestly want to. I want to feel like I want to believe in this guy, but he's not giving me enough to believe. I want to see more from Jalen. Let's see what you can do in the preseason. Let's see if you can attack the football. Let's see if you can come up in the box, design something, design like you're going to, you're going to pass rush. That's what the defensive coordinator. So basically, I want to see what Jalen's going to do this year. And now all that comes down to the game against Seattle Saturday. Now, on Seattle, I'm telling you, Seattle just signed. Well, they brought in Terran Arnold. Okay, now Terran Arnold is the kid that is facing robbery and kidnapping charges. Detroit released him last month, so they brought him in for a workout. They have not signed him. They brought him for a workout. As of now, he hasn't been charged or not given an opportunity. What I said is what I said back last month. I don't want guys like that to have an opportunity because guys like that ruin the process of the team. The Seattle Seahawks are coming off the championship. I know you want to give them a chance, give fools a chance, but not on my team. In Seattle, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking if they sign him, but I'm assuming that you have all your facts straight, and I'm assuming that you're a smart person. So basically, what it comes down to is Seattle being fools by trying to sign this guy. And I don't want them to sign. And honestly, I don't care. I want consistency down the board. I don't want to celebrate trouble players. There's other players out there you want to celebrate that have done great things. But I leave that to them. But as a matter of fact, we're playing against the Rams today in scrimmage. So I'm interested to see on film what happened, what went right, what went wrong, and let's see if we're ready. We're ready. Again, August 11th, you're not going to see anything spectacular jump out. Okay, you're not going to see, Dak throw 2 interceptions, and if he does, then we can improve on that. You're not going to see Javonte fumble the football. If that happens, we're going to improve on that. You're not going to see CeeDee Lamb beat his man one-on-one, even though he's going to. You're not going to see George Pickens run weird routes. And you're not going to see the defense be misinformed and struggle. I think Christian Park's going to be up their asses this year. And I want to see a coach that does that. That's why Brian brought him in. Because it's your defense. You have to fix it. So when I'm giving that film, I'll make sure that I watch it. And on the practices leading up into Seattle game in the next week, then we'll recap the Seattle game, what I saw. Again, we'll do five things that I saw, and then we'll probably recap some other preseason games that stood out. So now we get to the North Texas Mean Green. College football's fast approaching. I think we got 16 days. I think we got less than a month away from the first North Texas game. So let's dive into 5 things. Actually, let's run through let's do 5 things that North Texas needs to do to win the AAC in 2026, and then we'll run down the schedule. So number one, you gotta dominate the line of scrimmage. Yeah, pass and run block really well. I thought last year we did that. I thought Musonmaker who used his legs really well. He was able to get out of the pocket, able to get to the second gear, and get to the secondary. He slid a lot, so I like the decision making. Now I want to see our quarterbacks do that. Get to the second level. The running back, Caleb Hawkins was great. Last year was he was just phenomenal. It's just that you don't have much at running back, right? Receivers, it remains to be seen. Most of them went to Oklahoma State with Eric Moore, so I would love to see the quarterback, the line of scrimmage, dominated by our offensive line. Get to the second level. So, pass and run the ball, and I want Neal to know that. Open the line for the quarterback. You got to be able to get to the second gear. That's the thing. And then number two, keep the offense explosive. So we led the offense in total offense and points last year in all of college football. There's 3 quarterbacks fighting for competition. According to Neal Brown, the head coach, Chris Jefferson, in 4 games last year had 37 yards and a touchdown. Chasten did a transfer from Eastern Carolina. He went 12 for 24 for 215, 3 touchdowns in 5 games. He backed up somebody at East Carolina. And Taven Jackson transferred from UCF. 63% completions, 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Now, I look at these stats, courtesy of the AAC network, the YouTube page. I looked it up, and I said, Chris Jefferson has the most experience on this team. He could have gone and transferred to any place. He may not be the starter there, but he's thinking at North Texas he could start. Not the case for Neal. For me, I will love to see it. You're not going to see it the first game. The first game's Indiana. You're not going to see it because you know why? That game's going to be over early than it should. So for me, Chris has to show that he can do both things. Throw the football, run it, make the right reads, and own the offense. That's what I like about Drew Musonmaker last year. He owned the offense. He owned the mistakes that he made as far as interceptions, as far as from the football, as far as not getting the guys the first down. He owned that. I'm waiting for Chris Jefferson to do that. Now, Chasen Detta, transfer from East Carolina, probably the second best experience that he's ever had. He could start. Tavion Jackson, according to Neal Brown, is a front runner. But for me, it has to be Chris Jefferson Jr. Not necessarily black, but also I want to challenge him to be great. You don't have to be Drew Musonmaker. Drew Musonmaker was great last year. He was in his own head. He's at Oklahoma State. That's fine. I don't want him to be like Drew Musonmaker. I want these guys to be themselves. Get us to where we need to go. Be great the first game so that the first game I know who's my quarterback for the rest of the season. God forbid there's injuries, but I know who's my quarterback. get the football out, make the right reads, and go based off what the team wants. Now let's talk about Neil Brown for a second. I appreciate what Neil has said, but you have to lead the pass where the pass is. Because Eric Morris is the pass. Drew Musselman, Caleb Hawkins, Wyatt Young, they're the pass. They're at Oklahoma State now. We wish them well. Actually, next week, we're going to talk about the Big 12. I'm pretty sure they will dominate the Big 12. I wish them well, seriously. But they're not here. You have players that you have to challenge every single day. Players that bleed the green. That want to be here. You have to go after. You have to put your focus on them instead of what Eric did last year. Listen, it was great. Probably the best seasons I ever seen in my entire life being a former alum. That's in the past now. It'll be remembered. But but stop bringing it up every single time. Own your offense. Remember what I said about Chris Emerson. You got to own your offense. Drew Musselmaker owned his offense. Eric Morris owned the team. Nothing went past his head. If it's a defensive possession went wrong, he got on the defense. And that's why he improved the defense. The offense went wrong, he improved the offense there. So Neil, you got to leave the pass with the pass. Own your coaching. I know we made a bunch of moves We made a bunch of moves from the high school ranks to now we got a defensive coordinator that's been there for 15. That's been in the defensive coordinator for 15 years. I'm interested to see what he's going to bring. Speaking of that, number 3, you got to win the turnover battle every game. You got to win it every game. You got to tackle well. You got to read well. You got to know where the pressure is going to be. Matt Ledger is your defensive coordinator, guys. 15 years of experience that this guy has. We got a bunch of new players on defense. And, of course, you're trying to find the identity. Because they will never tell you who's what on defense. These players don't have what's that called? They don't have spring practices. We don't know who they are. And if they did have a spring practice, then 9 times out of 10, they'll be gone. If they don't like what they've seen. But our defense has to be elite. Because I want it like that. We won the turnover about it almost every game last year. That's the reason why we won 12 games. Never seen a defense like that. Even though, there were things I did not like. For example, I did not like the fact that we gave up. We literally gave Tulane a chance to win the conference. Are they deserving? Yes. We made a bunch of mistakes out there. We turned the ball over 5 times. Defensively, I don't think it wasn't that bad. I think you were asking the defense to do too much. And sometimes it works out like that. You have to, when the offense turns the ball over like that, the defense has to do extra. I expect the defense to do extra this year. I'm not saying we're going to be a bad defense. I just don't know. Until we get to the first game. But I expect us to tackle well. One of the things that were great, we tackled the ball in space last year. We got to continue to do that moving forward. And then number 4, let's go through the brutal schedule of the non-conference before we get to November. This is September and October, the brutal schedule. So I'm going to dive this in the way I want to dive in it. So we start with Indiana. First game, Fox, 11 o'clock game on September the 5th. Now, Indiana's coming off a championship. They're going to crown themselves. They have Jacob Hoover, their quarterback from transfer from TCU. That's who's going to be running the show. And so you can already tell what type of physical game it's going to be. We got to match up well with these Big Ten teams because the reality is here. We can't be a small mid-major middleman. We're here. The world is recognizing North Texas Mean Green football on Fox. You got the first game. Probably big news going to be there. But you got the first game on Fox. It's not on ESPN Plus. It's not on CW. It's not on ESPN, even though ESPN is not a private network. It's not even on the Deuce. You're on Fox, meaning millions of people can watch you who are not football fans. You get blown out, it's not fine in my eyes. You got to go out there to compete, even though they're the champs. You got to go out there to compete. That's a tough matchup. Let's get to the other one. UNLV, our first home game. That is always a night game. The first home game is a night game. So that's 6:30. 6:30 on ESPNU. No, excuse me, not 6:30. I'm sorry, it's 2:45. So basically, I think it's going to be a hot day. 90, 100 degrees out there. They're still going to play. I'm not sure why. It's the act of attrition, right? Players got to play in the heat sometimes to get to where they what they want. I know it's going to be 100 degrees against UNLV. I know it because it's not stop. But then again, I could be wrong. First home game, you got to be pumped up. All 30,000 people in that stadium, which, by the way, they need to increase it by 20,000 more fans. I'm asking the AD, dude, can you increase this? The college football is growing. NIL money is up here. Even though the fans don't want it. The fans don't care. But you got you and they're coming to town. That's Dan Mullen and all them. That's going to be a tough game. Let's get to Texas State. I told you. GJ Jennings, excuse me. GJ Kinney. Who names your name? It's usually CJ. But it's GJ Kinney. He used to be the former Texas quarterback. I think he backed up Chris Sims or Vince Young. They go to San Marcos on September 19th. That's a USA game. I don't know USA sure, but that's 11 a.m. game. Tough matchup. Texas State, Texas State's now in the Pac-12, so they're expected to win the Pac-12. He's there for 8 years. He's going to give us our best. So right there, the first 3, you could say 0-3. I'll give UNLV the win. 1-2, but it's brutal. We got to hit the gate running, starting off. We got to be in that film room on Monday morning, and designing a game plan where the game plan works for Monday's practices. Houston Christian is your awkward matchup. Call it awkward because it's a win. 6:30 game, September the 26th. The last Saturday in September. Crisp night. Probably going to be a win. Probably. I say probably because you never know what happens. You never you never know what will happen. So, probably a win. Then you get to your conference play. The main network on Thursday night, October the 1st, on ESPN at 8 p.m. Tulsa. You beat Tulsa last year, right? Yes. You beat Tulsa. 8 p.m. ESPN does not care about us. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having an 8 o'clock game on Thursday night. He won't. He does it. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a game on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Because here's the thing. This is about ratings. This is about a network of ESPN people coming to do your game on your network on Thursday night. You got to be ready. October the 1st. It's fast approaching. Then you get to Charlotte, October 10th. So for now on, it's going to be announced. Charlotte should be an easy win. But then again, you don't know Charlotte. So now, Charlotte could be one of those trap games. I say those trap games because a team like that can build some momentum based off this game. They can easily win that game. And honestly, that's Texas OU weekend. So how much does that interfere? That it does not interfere at all. But I know that for me, it's special to me because that's my birthday weekend. So I know for me that is that's second nature because I know that we can win one game, maybe two, at that point. But at some point, we got to be physical. Against Charlotte, like I said, it's a trap game. And that game is Denton too. Let's get to the Navy. Well, the bye week is October 17th, so there's a bye week there. And then you get to Navy in Maryland on October 24th at 2:30 p.m. on CBS Network. Navy always proves a difficult task. And then another Thursday night game at UNT. So basically, in the month of October, you have two Thursday night games. You have, what did I say? Tulsa, and now you have Florida Atlantic. I don't know. It could be an easy win. It could be a loss. We'll see. Two Thursday night games on ESPN. What does that tell you? You don't have the standard off day that these teams have. So basically, you're coming off Saturday, right? Saturday, physical game against Navy, okay? Come home Sunday, rest, get ready for Navy. Excuse me, get ready for Florida Atlantic in the last day of October. Then you get to the game. Now, holiday week, October 31st, they don't want you to wear costumes on October 31st. They don't want that. Basketball season is coming for North Texas. That weekend, I know that city. That weekend's going to be crazy. But that's why they made the game to Thursday. Because that way, you can just get rid of the stuff right away. So right there, I don't see an easy team in the side. You got to play what you're schedule presumes. Only Houston Christian to me feels like an easier opponent because I know they're not Division One, but everybody else is. Now our gauntlet schedule in November. This is our last one, number 5. The brutal November schedule. My gosh. You got Rice. Why does God always do this? God is always. Oh, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Why does the schedule committee do this to us? They put us with the hardest schedule in November. A brutal November schedule. You got a weird November. October, I don't see it. I can tell you right now, I don't see it. Unless you can surprise me. Rice, that's in what? Oh yeah, that's it. That's the home game. That might be homecoming. I'm not sure what that gives. I think there's no way you can celebrate homecoming on a Thursday night. Well, we probably could, but there's no way. Rice, tough game. Rice is coming off a 5-win season, and I believe they made the bowl game, but they got to get it right. Let's get to UTSA. Whew. That rivalry against them, it's just different because when you play against them, they don't give you anything. They just know how to play against North Texas. They want to smoke against us. Like, why? It's a rivalry. Jeff Traylor's going to bring out everything. Jeff Traylor is not satisfied with what the season presumed. They're not supposed to go 6-6. They're supposed to be better than us. We were better than them last year. So he's going to do everything he can to get past us. And this is Neil's biggest test is November. You got to win November. I'm not saying you're going to be fired, but you got to win November. Let's get to Tulane. Tulane won the conference last year. I say this is a rivalry, but they won the conference last year, and they hired was in. So they're not totally lost, but they prove a difficult matchup in November. The way John Summerall, or whatever his name is, gave his heart and energy to the university. He's the coach at Florida now. He gave up a lot. Okay. And now that university is going to choose a seed. Now they have resources for years to be one of the elite programs in Tulane history. And we got to face them in New Orleans on November 21st. So basically the weather would change. They could, but you never know. And then last but not least, you got UAB on November 28th. That is Thanksgiving weekend. Not a lot of people are in town. That's senior day. UAB proves it. They hired what was it? The coach Alex Mortensen is your head coach. He's his father Chris used to be at ESPN. He's no longer with us. Rest in peace. That's a difficult match. He's going to get his guys ready to play. He saw what happened last year against us. They're going to get up for this matchup. Now it could go. Now we read off the schedule. It could go one or two ways. I don't see a double-digit win in North Texas season this year. You can say 7 wins. but I don't even see 5. I'm looking at the schedule. I don't see 5 wins on this thing. I see 4. And I know I'm being harsh, but my main thing is you gotta win. If you're not going to rebuild, if the message is reload, you got to do it in an efficient manner. My message would be, it's go time. You know, the message is of the women's basketball perimeter gas only. That message is tapering off because we have not won a championship. We won regular season time. We're a good regular season, but we have not won a championship. That message works when you win a championship. The conference championship. We're not talking about the regular season. We're talking about the conference. North Texas has tools to win this conference in football. You laugh. They have the tools to win college football. AAC conference. You can't tell me you're building stuff for the football program, but yet we get mediocre results. Every day, every player should get some type of resource to invest in so that we can start putting a great team together. Injuries will happen, of course. We have the best medical team in all of college football. I don't know them, but we have the best. I can easily say that because North Texas prioritizes health first. I want to be a physical football team. Last year, we were running back wise, quarterback wise, wide receiver wise. But I want to pick up the pace. I want to be able to run the football. I want to be able to pass. I want I want the quarterbacks to make great reads. I don't know if all 3 quarterbacks. I know one of them runs. Jimerson runs. Defensively, I want us to attack. Go to the football. Tackle well space. Don't be soft. We have, like I said, there's no way Tulane should get this. There's no way Florida Atlantic should get this thing. There's no way all these random teams, UTSA, should not get this thing, even though they're our rivals, and even though Jeff Traylor is the best coach in this conference right now. There's no way. You could say Memphis because they got their coach. You could say UAB. They got their coach too. But I'm not worried about those teams. I'm worried about North Texas. What are we going to do between now and this season starts to get us going? So I'm looking at 4 wins, guys. I know. Listen, I put pressure on the team. I want the team to succeed, but I got to put pressure on them because at the end of the day, you got to get this. At the end of the day, you have every day has to be a building block to success. I want North Texas to win, but to win, you got to beat the tougher opponents. You got to go in there was strong against Texas State. You got to go in there. I know the first 2 could be losses. Maybe you beat UNLV. We'll see. If you beat UNLV, that's huge. even though they're not a great football program, that's huge. And that tells me where your season's going to be going. I just want to get to conference so we can dominate in conference. But I also don't want to be 500 heading into conference play because it spells disaster. And I don't want us to turn the ball over because that too puts you in a predicament. All right, guys. So that's my North Texas spiel. So we should. I'm not saying we're going to win the conference. I know he talks about reload. For me, I think it's going to be one of those years where you just have to say you go to every game is a question mark. What are they going to show you today? That's my thought process. And hopefully by the time November hits, I'm not going to say I'm going to be ready for the basketball season, but it's getting there. All right, guys, that's it for my football spill. So next week, remember, we're going to talk about the Big 12, and also we're going to recap the preseason game for the Dallas Cowboys, and also we're going to recap some of the Dallas Cowboys practices. So, but coming on next, let's talk about the WNBA. Sue Bird and her USA components made the roster of 12 players. Also, we got a lot of drama, and once again, every week is a drama field in the WNBA. So we're going to talk about that on the other side. It's Beyond the Game on Fishbowl Radio.
Yo, man. Yo. Open up, man. What do you want? My girl just caught me. Catch you? I don't know how that is happened. The girl next door, you know? I don't know what to do. So, alright. Honey, give me that she got me red-handed. Treat me with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked, hanging up on the bathroom floor. How could I forget that I had given her an extra fee? All this time she was standing there, she never took her eyes off me.
Oh, you been your woman access to your villa. Just for some weakness, all of you clean on your pillar. You better watch your mouth before she turn into a killer. Just review the situation that you call the winner. To be a true player, you have to know how to play. If she say a night, can be so say a day. Never admit to a word when she say, and she claim I you tell her, babe, you know me.
She caught me on the counter. Wasn't me. Saw me banging on the sofa. Wasn't me. I even had her in the shower. Wasn't me. She even caught me on camera. Wasn't me. She saw the mark on my shoulder. Wasn't me. Heard the words that I told her. Wasn't me. Heard the screams getting louder. Wasn't me. She said it was over. Honey, give me that she caught me red-handed. Treat me with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked, hanging on the bathroom floor. I had tried to keep her from a tree. Was about to see why should she leave me with not to her it wasn't me.
But you know say that the villain on the right flex. I never you just see I make the jigger low flex. I saw the earth say favor you in the complex. Seeing is believe me, so you better change your specs. You know she have a thing of whatever things from the past. I'll the little evidence you better know the mass. Quick by your answer, go off it up. But if you back up when you know you better run fast.
But she caught me on the counter. Wasn't me. Saw me banging on the sofa. Wasn't me. I even had her in the shower. Wasn't me. She even caught me on camera. Wasn't me. She saw the marks on my shoulder. Wasn't me. Heard the words that I told her. Wasn't me. Heard the screams getting louder. Wasn't me. She stayed until it was over. Honey, give me that she caught me red-handed. Creepy with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked, hanging on the bathroom floor. How could I forget that I had given her an extra fee? All this time, and she was standing there, she never took her eyes off me. Wanna tell her that I'm sorry for the pain that I caused. I've been listening to your reason, it makes no sense. time she was standing there, she never took her eyes off.
I made him a million, now fuck it, we all rich. I ain't tryna have babies right now, so we flow with a rubber, but I got a raw bitch. No, this money bring EV, you probably won't beat me, but bro, we can't be without no small shit. Overseas got a cut doing my shit. Can't believe it, I'm still in apartments. Fitness, man, when they got me in office, me and Dollar, cause I get them often. Me and Dollar was serving on Wall Street. Apology, he gon' stay with the chopstick. I got raw, that shit made me a monster. He bitch, you know this. My sister, my mama's, now they houses are big. They want them. I didn't realize no motherfucking car. Feeling like we in a race. I might come in first and second, but I won't ever be last. Lately I've been in my bag, but told me don't stay my foot off the gas to give you and it's gonna take you a mile. I'ma shoot by myself like a 10-4-5. City to city, got girls going wild, and I reach for my chain when I jump in the crowd. Now I'm solo out of squad. We finally made it, let's pop us a bottle. To the lead and let everyone follow. You know I'm running it right to the bank. They want me to eat. Like in the deep with many beaters. I'm sorry, I told them my cake. Heard you a rapper, you know what's happen whenever we catch you. I remember them shakes. All the moves I been making by the time I get 40, I gotta be one of them greats. Watch how I move with this paper. I know if I slip on one time, they gon' try to come take. Real as it getting, these niggas be fake. And I don't want they buy, so they hand ain't shake. Get on that 42 straight with no chase. I'm trying to get out of here and go taste. Yeah, my diamonds be TV. They don't wanna see us on TV. And unless it's the news, I got something to prove. Yeah, I got something to lose. In the street, I didn't pay out my dues. No extortion, ain't talking about it. I be walking on beats, did you hear me? I just feel that my kids be a bigger me. They can't get rid of me. My diamonds be TV. They don't wanna see us on TV. Unless it's the news, I got something to prove. Yeah, I got something to lose. In the street, I didn't pay out my dues. No extortion, ain't talking about literally. I be walking on beats, did you hear me? I just feel that my kids be a bigger me. They can't get rid of me. Wake up every day, somebody harassing me. I got rich, they need money. They asking me. I was sitting in jail, they look out for me. Once who need me, no same ones who doubted me. I been handling my own, they can vouch for me. They'll wait down. We know that she proud of me. Turn the heat up, ain't nobody. I just be everywhere, dollars me, that's how I gotta be. I didn't give her the word, now she not leaving. Said she love me, the just told her stop breathing. He try to do what I do, but we not even. I want all of the beef, I am not speaking. Before you said it was cool, niggas not speaking fist. So don't try to top, I can't stop speeding. Trying to see if this bitch hit the top speed. Hit a bitch from the back, I'm like, knock on me, baby, ho. I control the rock, give the rap. I control the block, yeah, I'm really it. Hey, you niggas not got a couple coups. I can't draw the I didn't make a nigga, all these DJs coming in. I'm saving for the bigger picture. No one day I need them, might as well get used to me. My biggest fear is ending up where you should be. Yeah, my diamonds be TV. They don't want to see us on TV unless it's the news. I got something to prove. Yeah, I got something to lose. In the street, I didn't pay out my dues. No extortion, ain't talking about literally. I be walking on BC. You hear me? I just feel that my kids be a bigger. They can't get rid of me. My diamonds be TV. They don't want to see us on TV unless it's the news. I got something to prove. Yeah, I got something to lose. In the street, I didn't pay out my dues. No extortion, ain't talking about literally. I be walking on beats, did you hear me? I just feel that my kids be a bigger me. They can't get rid of me.
Welcome back to the Beyond the Game podcast on Facebook Radio. James here. So, I was looking at ChatGPT. Oh, I forgot to congratulate Quentin Williams getting his contract getting paid yesterday. So congratulations to Quentin Williams. So ChatGPT is ChatGPT, right? I typed in North Texas wind predictions in 2026. Excuse me. I know my own says 4. I don't know how ChatGPT got set 6 and 6 or 7 and 5. I don't know. And also they got Tavon Jackson as a starter. So I think the quarterback is going to be the battle. I don't see, like I said before, I don't see 6 or 7 wins in that thing. Maybe my eyes are not where it's supposed to be, or my mind. But I don't see 6 wins or 7. But that's what ChatGPT is saying. But I could be wrong. So it's always good to look, right? Now let's get to the drama of the WNBA. But first, let's talk about women's basketball. So you got your 12. The WNBA will be taking a break soon. So they'll be off for 2 weeks. So now you're looking at your roster of Aaliyah Boston, Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Nafisa Collard, Keelia Cooper, Chelsea Gray, Ryan Howard, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Jackie Young, and that's your 12. How weird is that? There's no Kelsey Mitchell. There's no Olivia Miles. I mean, most will say Veronica Burton. Most will say in the next 2 years, Juju. This is a great problem to have. This is a great freaking problem to have. We got some of the best USA teams, some of the best players in this U.S. round. And you're telling me that Sue Bird and others choose their best 12. mean, honestly, that's your best 12. We lack perimeter defense because most of these teams, they don't rely on the low post play. We know this because the last Olympics, I know France came within a point. I honestly think we could have lost to France in overtime. But I worry about our perimeter defense. I worry that you got to have at least one. Not a player, not all-stars. You got to have at least one. Olivia Boston can be the odd person out. I trust Fee. You know that's my girl. I trust Fee Collard. You know, in the guard space, I always trust, Paige Bakers and Caitlin Clark on offense, but defensively, I know they're not good defensively. Let's see. Ryan Howard, Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, Kalia Copper. I mean, they're not really. I mean, honestly, they got all of them got offensive play. Chelsea Gray is a great point guard. No matter who says what. Kelsey Plum, one of the best scorers in our game. When she's on, she's on. Ryan Howard might be more of a defensive player. Kalia Copper as well. Then you get to Angel Reese, rebounding. Brianna Stewart can score as well. Angel Wilson can do both. Jackie Young can do literally both. So this is what you have on your roster. Jackie Young is a good perimeter. Is not good defensively. Guarding the perimeter, that's what we're going to lack. I mean, when you're building this roster together, you got to have some type of perimeter defense. Just one. And then everybody else can be like all-stars. Everyone says Olivia Miles should have gone. I'm like, okay, Olivia Miles, she's having a great rookie season, but you got your best 12. And then they could have said Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell has been on a heater. I look at Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Mitchell's not a better scorer than Kelsey Plum nor Caitlin Clark. Kelsey Mitchell is one of the best scorers in the game has ever had. And for her to not go, that's an understatement. People will say Sabrina Ionescu, but you can't have too much shooting out there. We have a lot. We don't have a lot of defense, perimeter defense. So you tell me you're asking Angel Reese and Leah Boss to guard the perimeter? Those players cannot. I feel like both of them will be in foul trouble. But they say Sue Bird did this. I think Sue Bird did this out of talent. That we can't make a mistake. Was leaving Caitlin out again. I'm not saying you got to leave her out completely. But they didn't want to make that mistake because you're worried about the backlashes. You're worried about what fans are going to say. Why are you worried about that when we're trying to go win gold? Why are you worried about what the internet says about your picks that you made? I told you we need one perimeter defense. Everybody else can be everybody else. I don't mind Paige being on there. Okay? And honestly, I don't mind Chelsea Gray on there. Because we need a point guard. We need a point guard that's going to settle everything down. I don't trust Caitlin doing it. Nor Paige. Paige wants to play off the ball. It gives her a great opportunity to do that. So, if you ask me, I think it's okay. But I'm worried about 2028. All these countries coming in, and Australia is going to be great. France is going to be completely loaded. God, you can name 1 through 12, maybe 15 great French players in the WNBA. China. That's what I worry about in 2 years. And again, you don't make your decision based on marketing. The USA is a big USA. We're not worried. We're not going to base everything on marketing. You've got to put the best 12 together to win. You're trying to win gold. We don't win bronze. We don't win silver, because if you do that, then they're going to ridicule us for days, and this is years. You can't get silver. So I trust Kara Lawson, because I feel like Kara Lawson knows what she's doing. I trust her. I trust Natalie Nasaka, the fifth Monica. I trust. I hate to say this, but I trust Nate Tibbetts. I trust Stephanie White. Those two, Stephanie White, Nate Tibbetts, will resume their careers if they put a great offensive game plan together. Maybe Jose Fernandez can do that. He's the team scout. I don't see any excitement in this. I'm excited about what we put on paper, but I'm worried about the play. Because on August 31st, you're probably going to travel overseas to play your first game. I don't even remember the first game. I know the game's on September the 4th, but the first game, you have to play, get some rest, play, get ready to go. At that point, I don't care about like rest or anything like that. And Germany, I forgot one other thing. Germany's going to be loaded. When Germany's healthy, they're one of the best. But what I would say is that I really don't care about players overplaying themselves. You're going there to win. You're picked to win. I know Asia will have rest for days because they need it for the playoff run. I know Breanna Stewart too. All the players that are on the USA roster outside of Kalia Clarper will need, and Kelsey Plum will need some type of rest. Because 10 of those players on that roster are going to the playoffs after they complete their USA commitments. So I'm not saying she got this, Sue Bird got this wrong, but I'm worried. I'm worried that we're not going to have the best. I'm worried that we have to overwork. I'm not saying it's supposed to be easy. I'm saying that it's supposed to be difficult. These countries are coming, and they're here to stay. So there's no dominance for the USA. There isn't any. Ask the men's team. They're going through it. They will go through it. If we're not serious enough to put the best all-stars on the team, kind of like the women. So we'll see what happens. Now let's get to the Fever, their drama. Once again, number one, there was a lot of drama. So here's what I wrote down. Caitlin Clark to blame for the Aces' losses on Thursday night. So basically, when Caitlin was trying to go one-on-one against the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year, A'ja Wilson ripped her and took it down the court, passed it to Jackie Young. Jackie Young got to Chelsea Gray, and then Chelsea Gray hit the game-winning three-point shot, and that's where it lied. Everybody after the game was saying, "Oh, Caitlin's a great leader," and all that. Yeah, you're supposed to say that. because it's your fault. If AJ Wilson did did the same thing you did, AJ Wilson would be the first person to tell you it was her fault. You're not hearing this for the first time. I'm not hearing it for the first time because every great player has gone through it. Caitlyn is going through it right now. You want to be satisfied over beating the Aces? You're not going to beat them 3 times. There's no way. But I don't like when people say, well, they should take blame for the loss. I'm like, why? Caitlyn took it. She's going to continue to take it. And then you move on. And then speaking of that game, 2 fans were ejected for, I don't know, saying something to Jackie Young. So we don't know the fans' names. But once again, Indiana does not know how to act right. You got 2 fans sitting in the front row saying a lot of BS to one Aces great players, and you elected to leave. Here's my frustration about it. My frustration is that we never got the full story. What happened? What did they say, Jackie? That you said that popped you off. That one of your players were calling security and saying, "Well, what happened there? Why did those guys want to leave? They wanted to leave because they got caught. That's why. You can't act right in the WNBA. The WNBA always tells you when you go to the arena, they always bring the code of contact, which is BS because they're going to say whatever the hell they want. You're doing that in your stadium. You're not doing it outside because you need rules on the outside to tell social media to shut the hell up. You're not going to tell social media to shut the hell up. Everybody's going to have opinions for days and months to come. For those 2 fans, they're idiots. I'm glad they left. But why would you post that they left, but there's no reasoning behind it? There's always a reasoning to one's actions. They were offered to sit back down. They both said, we're going to leave for the night. Okay, great. Good night. Have a good night. You can't do that at a WNBA event. You can't do that. And I'm sorry for what they said. I don't know. I don't even care what they. I don't even know what they said. But why would you post it? That everybody is posting saying 2 fans were ejected. For what? What is your reasoning behind it? If you're going to post it, put your reasoning behind it. Instead of, ESPN said 2 fans were ejected. I'm going to post it and say, 2 fans were ejected. What's your reasoning behind that? Why were they? What did they say? So that we can educate. That we can educate the arenas. Hey, this cannot be allowed. You cannot say this. We need education. It doesn't take you to go watch YouTube or go read a book to get education anymore. It's in hindsight. It's right there. Caitlin Clark gets a technical foul. It gets rescinded during the game. Now, I was telling you that Caitlin should have got that technical foul. The officials did make a mistake giving her the tech, even giving her the tech, even though she was pushed into the official that gave her the tech. Yes, I understand that. But what I don't understand is that they did it during the game. league. You got to hold your officiator accountable. This is the problem with the WNBA's officiating. You gave their best player a technical foul. That best player could have been suspended tonight. But they said, you know what? We got to quickly reverse it. Why? You're using Caitlin for TV purposes, knowing that she's going to be playing on ESPN tonight. And not holding her accountable for her actions. Everybody who gets a technical foul is being held a different standard than Caitlin Clark. We know this. That's why the league is where it's at right now. Everybody's being taught differently, being held differently. Caitlin has a special whistle. Asia has one as well. Breanna Stewart has one as well. Napheesa Collier has one as well. It's different across the board. If you're going to call tech on their best player, leave that alone. Let her sit out. Even though social media is going to come out and say, why is Caitlin Clark sitting down? Blah, blah, blah. They're gonna be it's going to be a mess on TV. And that's what the league did not want to do. They don't want it to be a mess. You already created the mess anyways. You got Sophie Cunningham saying what she's saying. You got DJ Carrington saying what she's saying outside basketball. You got Republicans fighting for Caitlin Clark. You got the league fighting for Caitlin Clark. They want to see Caitlin on TV every single day. You didn't do it to the Aces when they were doing it. I'm pretty sure Becky Hammond got fined for sitting out Asia, Chelsea, and Jackie Young on national TV. Even though I understand what Becky was saying. You can't play a 12 o'clock game in Minnesota and turn around and play a 12:30 game Eastern time in New York. That's the difference. You can't do that. Who does that? That game should have been a night game. How do you go from day to day? And then you thinking that Asia, Chelsea, and Jackie Young are going to play on back-to-back nights. Are you kidding me? But we're talking about Caitlin Clark. Getting her technical removed. That's the last one. It's not fair. She should be suspended. She has no accountability. That's the problem we have today. Caitlin Clark has no accountability, and all these motherfucking fans know it. Actually, they don't know it because they sit around and wear jerseys, and they're like, well, you know, we want an autograph for Caitlin Clark. Yeah, of course. Fine, I want an autograph for Caitlin Clark. Yeah, of course. But she shows no accountability. That's how ruthless this situation is. On the positive side, Makeda Simpson continues to play well. She's earned a starting role. So Makeda Simpson guards everybody on it. Everybody from the point guard to center. She's really the real deal. And the future is bright in Indiana for Makeda Simpson. Even though yesterday they went and signed Mercedes Russell. So now Mercedes Russell comes into the fray. We don't know what type of player we're going to see from Mercedes Russell. She's won 2 championships in Seattle. She's 31 years old. We got to see what type of condition she's in. Condition she's in. Now we talk about the biggest drama. Actually, the biggest drama is coming up next because we got to talk about the transgender policy. But let's talk about Sophie versus DiJonai. The flanger found heard across the world, guys. So Sophie Cunningham gets hit in the neck by DiJonai Carrington, gets blood all around. DiJonai Carrington gets ejected, which is the right call. It's the right call because DiJonai is going up. Sophie Cunningham is going up for a layup. Gets her across the neck. And DiJonai says, we're making a play on the ball. She's shocked that she's ejected. I'm like, do you realize you hit Sophie Cunningham across the face? Literally taking her head off. That's the right call. And then during the game, she tweets out white privilege. It got people talking. Let me tell you something about, I can go across the board. I want to give you 3 things. One of them will be my thoughts. I won't say my thoughts for last, but ESPN got a hold of this. So let me talk about ESPN real quick. When they were doing their shooting rounds, whatever they call themselves, before the game, Monica McNutt did not want to touch this issue. Even though everybody, every network's talking about this issue alone because of who Sophie Cunningham is. Monica did not want to touch it because of the backlash. Monica, people out there don't have $21 million like you. People out there don't have an elite job like you. You get to sit at the desk between the WNBA and shoot around, First Take, the New York Knicks, whatever case it is. You get to sit around and talk basketball. And you tell us you don't want to touch it because of the backlash. And Malika's telling everybody, take a deep breath. No, you tell social media to take a deep breath because this is a trendy topic still. It's a topic still because of what DiJonai said. And now you got fake people like Acho saying what he's saying, which is not even the truth. He knows everything because he doesn't. It's basketball. It's not politics. You got politics network talking about this player alone, calling DiJonai every name in the book, and it's not fair to DiJonai. Was it a dirty play? Yes. DiJonai has a history of doing this. Pull the girl's hair down. It shouldn't be brought up. It was brought up. And you want to make it about a Sophie Cunningham issue. Everybody's protecting Sophie Cunningham. Not DiJonai. Including the black networks. You're protecting Sophie over DiJonai. What has the league come down to? This one play. It's not about basketball. Fuck basketball. Forget it. Right? It's about whiteness. Everybody takes part in what DiJonai tweeted out. The WNBA did not step in and say, oh, you can't tweet this. That's how bad the league lacks accountability. They could have told DiJonai, hey, do not tweet this. What happened to social media policy? What happened to holding players accountable? In that game, yes, DiJonai should be ejected. Absolutely. Sophie Cunningham should have got technical foul. Did you not see her call her a bitch? Do you not see that Sophie literally punched DiJonai in the chest? Am my eyes not blind? Am I not seeing correctly? Did I not see that? When DiJonai when Sophie was being hugged by McKentis and that security guard, And by the way, that security guard did nothing sexual to Sophie. Like what are you supposed to do? You don't have women's security guard. Mikhail Thompson's right there. Sophie's right there. The man did nothing wrong. But people point out that he's being sexual to Sophie. He's not. He's doing his job. Preventing chaos. Like, everything doesn't have to be me, me too. It doesn't have to be like that. There's men out there that are going to hug up, that they're going to do the same thing. And if Caitlyn was in that situation, they're going to do the same thing to Caitlyn as in other players. Marina Mayberry, whatever the case may be, they're going to do the same thing. Men security are going to do the same thing. They do it in the streets. They do it in the WNBA all the time. It's nothing sexual about it. If a women security guard got there, then Sophie would have got to do Dejanay. But you need a man to hold Sophie and others back. There's nothing sexual about it. He's doing his job. Let people do their jobs. But back to this situation. Acho thinks he knows everything. Acho does not know anything from his day. So I want Acho to tell us the truth. I want Acho to read a book. Read a book on racism. Because at the end of the day, Dejanay wrote that based off frustration. Every player got on there, right? When the officials ejected Dejanay, the officials had 8 players, including the coach, in front of your face. That's a lot of breaths. There's a lot of breaths in front of your face. Asking questions, telling you what you should do, what you have not done, all the things. That's a lot of breaths, guys. But Acho doesn't say the right things all the times. He's not as smart as he should be. Because this is not about sports anymore. It's about you making a statement that's not needed. When someone brings up privilege, you put white on top of it. Everybody has an opinion differently. Whether we agree with it or we don't. You're looking for people that want to agree with you. And I'm not agreeing with you one bit. Now here's my thought about this. There's no accountability in the WNBA. The league had an opportunity to review this film and they didn't. You know how I know? Because I know. Why didn't Dejanay get suspended for that tweet? Why didn't Sophie Cunningham not get fined for the punch? They fine you for certain things, for the little stuff. Oh, Caitlyn got a technical foul. We're going to fine her $500. Oh, Sophie Cunningham got a technical foul. We're going to fine her $500. Which, by the way, Sophie should have got the technical foul. So you're so quick to reverse that technical foul. You could have looked at that replay again. We have no leadership in the WNBA. They're lying to you. Any broadcaster that tells you we're in a great space, they're lying to you. Look at social media. Look what's happening today. Tonight, tomorrow night, Thursday night. Every day is a trending topic. It will never stop. Dejanay was wrong. You can't bring up, and also you can't bring up someone's past because they want to eliminate that. If you brought up my past, I'll be very upset. I have to learn from my past. I have to learn that I struggle with dating, guys. I struggle with dating. I hate it, but I struggle with it because I can't say the right. I don't know. I can't say the right things. But I'm not gonna let my past hinder my future. People say, well, the past is the past. You learn from it. Yes, I learned from my past. Now, every date that I've been on, do you really think I should go ahead and try this again? Yes. If I were to go back 10, 12, 15 years ago, would I change? Yes. That's definitely yes. But I can't change every moment. I can't change everything at that moment for everyone. Maybe there's people that I like. I'll change for them, but I won't change for the people that I was on dates on and vice versa. I won't do that because they're no longer in my life. No. But Dejanay, the league, people bringing up that stuff, she's not a dirty player. You call her those names because of her color of her skin. Now, that's another issue. You don't have black men sticking up for black women anymore. Acho could have stuck up for Dejanay. He didn't. You have a platform. Millions of you watch you. You don't stick up for Dejanay anymore. Dejanay is a black, educated woman, like she said in her Instagram post, and having to put it on private because of the backlash is crazy. No, actually, it's sad to watch. It's sad to see because all the backlashes and everything that comes with it now comes to light, and it hurts me. I mean, I agree with what Stephanie White said. I don't care about what Caitlyn or Michaela Simpson, especially Caitlyn. Caitlyn has to grow up. She has to grow up from this. That tells me that Caitlyn does not respect us. I told you Caitlyn's racist. I told you Caitlyn does not respect us. But your head coach, Stephanie White, coached Dejanay. And I'm pretty sure at that moment, Dejanay needs some love. And Stephanie White gave her that in the press conference. Was that a dirty play? Yes. Is Dejanay a dirty player? No. But we don't have black men sticking up for black women anymore. I talk about the highly educated guys. I would never stick. Listen. I'll stick up. I would stick up for everyone, including Caitlyn, including Kelsey, including Dejanay. I'm sticking up for Dejanay today. Dejanay is one of the best perimeter defenders in the game. We're not taking that away from her. I wish she was back on my team because I want that player. So this is where it's going to be. And then you get to number 2, the transgender drama the WNBA has heightened. So Enes Kanter and Royce White are idiots. They both came out and said they're declaring for the 2027 WNBA draft. They're idiots for numerous reasons. Enes Kanter struggled in the NBA. There's reasons why he wasn't on the court. Because you can't defend. You foul a lot. You can't defend. Royce White His league didn't even get to 10 years. Now he's a senator. They call himself a senator. He can't play in the league. Royce White can't play in the league because he can't fly. Did you kill your flying fears? Because you said this in college when you were at Iowa State. You said you can't fly. Your fear is flying. So they had to drive you to everywhere you had to go in the NBA and the G League to get to your next stop. Your fear is flying. There's a lot of people that have fears. Your fear is the biggest one. You're an NBA player. Now you're former NBA player. Now you turn Congress. You have to travel to these places. You're still fear of flying. People conquer their fears. Royce, you have not done that. You're not allergic to flying. You're allergic to flying. The WNBA flies, Royce. You can't play in the WNBA. You can't play in the WNBA because you're not physical enough. You don't defend well. We know this because I know that your time in the NBA, your time sucked. It sucked. It was bad. And then the commissioner comes out and says, we got to go look at our transgender policy. For what? It's easy. It's easy to say, oh, women. You were born a woman. You're supposed to play in the WNBA. You got little girls out there that are writing goals in their journal right now saying, I want to play in the WNBA one day. You got girls' camps coming in the next this past summer that you went through. That those girls, some of them will be playing pro basketball. But to play with a man that turns into a woman? Boosie Badass said, you're not playing with Jamana Man. If you ever watch Martin, that's what Jamana Man is. You can't do that. Why are you telling young ladies that they can accomplish their goals by playing in the league, but yet in the future they got to play with someone that used to be a man? Just imagine having that in your locker room. Telling a young lady, you got to see the other side. They're seeing it today. You got to consume this. Why do young ladies have to consume this crap? Because the commissioner wants to tell her associates, we want to go look at it. Why? The commissioner has no. Okay, this is why the league lacks accountability. There's a lot of accountability because the commissioner could have came out and said, this is a league for women. We want to make it for women only. She could have came out and said that, but she didn't. Now we're waiting for her stupid ass decision saying this is a league for women and women only. We will not take any body parts. This is not co-ed. This is women's basketball. I'm not watching this crap. I'm not watching the WNBA if they add a transgender on their team. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, Gabby. Even though you said that, I'm not doing that. I know that I said I'll welcome everybody. Yes, that's still the case. But I'm not playing with another man. If I was a woman, I'm not playing with another man on my team in the WNBA. Because the WNBA is built for women, built by women. It's for women. Just imagine the ancestors, right? Just imagine Lisa Leslie, right? Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, Cynthia Cooper, right? Ask them about the transgender policy. Ask them if they want to play. If they could have played with another man back in the 2000s. Ask Diana Taurasi. Ask Candace Parker. And then what type of league is this? You got to understand that this league, like I said, is built for women by women. This is why I appreciate. That's why we have to appreciate our ancestors so much. The Lisa Leslie, the Cheryl Swoops, the Cynthia Cooper, the Tina Thompson, the Deanna Taurasi, the Lauren Jackson. Super. There's a lot of names that came before us. We have to appreciate them more. Cheryl Miller. Appreciate them. Because they built this league. This league is running without them. If they weren't running this league would not be existent. Teresa Weatherspoon would not be existent. Becky Hammon. Just imagine. But yeah, everyone's making a joke, and everyone wants to solidify playing with men on their team. This is not co-ed. You do that at the rec. I understand. But it was a man, women. You're born women to play in the WNBA. Yes, I would love to play rec basketball with a lady, but have lady parts. I would not block her shot, but have lady parts. I'm not going to play with I'm not. So I'm not. The NBA doesn't have this problem. The WNBA does have this. It's very easy to fix it. And the commissioner says, this is not allowed. You're finding ways to improve your league. This is not this way. You have to this should have been shut down immediately. We're not doing that. But the commissioner said, let's talk about it. For what? Why are we talking about it? You could shut this down. What is the need to talk about it? We don't need to talk about it. So, I know a lot of people do a great job. Even the group pages. I'm just annoyed because it's like it's not basketball anymore. You're adding politics to where politics should not be at. Social media, you're not adding you're not adding basketball plays on social media. You're adding what somebody said, and then you want that response. Everybody has a different response. I will never post it because I don't care. I post basketball stuff. I post football stuff. I don't care. I just want to play the game without the politics. Can we do that? It's very easy, right? 40-minute game in the WNBA. Let's play 40 minutes. 48 in the NBA. Let's play 48 minutes. College football, NFL. Let's play 60 minutes. Let's talk about the game instead of the politics. The Dallas Wings are out. Could be out of the playoffs. Number 3. Could be. We'll see. The Wings have lost 3 straight, guys. Jose Hernandez is not doing a great job, guys. I'm very disappointed. Here's the 8 things here's 7 things I came up with for the Dallas Wings. So number 1, we blew a 20-point lead to the Mystics on last Wednesday. So including a 21-4 run in the 4th quarter. You got to stop. You got to play a little bit of defense. And you got to keep attacking the basket. Put the Mystics in foul trouble because you did not do that. That's why they were able to win the game. And then you gave up 48 points in the paint. to the Mystics. Remember, the Mystics had 46 in that first matchup. Even then, that was bad. They have no rim protection. So basically, Lee and Kier, both of them are playing opposition. So there's no rim protection at the basket. 34% shooting versus the Valkyries. The Valkyries, they just loaded the paint. They're shifty defensively. They guard 1 through 5. They load the paint. They guard you at the perimeter. They take everything away from you. I mean, it really, honestly, they just did a great job holding us at bay. I can't find a positive thing they did in that game against the Valkyries. I can't find it. And then we lost because Costanza Verona due to international commitments. Now, she was the point guard. Well, excuse me, she was the shooting guard for us. She was on a development contract. So basically, we have one hole open. We need to add. I think we need to add 2 more players to development, which should happen between now and tomorrow. So basically, she goes to play for her country, Italy, because you're 27 years old. You want to play basketball. So Costanza did the right thing, even though she's gone. I'm not worried about her. She wants to go play for a national team. So be it. You let her go. Let her play for a national team because she deserves to play. Jessica Shepard injured her ankle the other day, so I'm not sure if she's going to play tomorrow night. Our depth is going to be compromised tomorrow night because Lee may start or it may go with Kier. It remains to be seen. I know AZ has been out the last 2 with knee soreness. You're not playing with knee soreness. Now that's another thing. If your knee's severe enough, you're not going to play with knee soreness. Then you get to number 6. What lineup do I want to see? I would love to see the lineup of Azurá James, Paige Bueckers, Enrique, Atlanta Smith, and Lee Yarou. I'm not worried about keeping 2 people for the next franchise, according to my coworker. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about right now. I just told you what lineup I wanted to see. Azurá James, who scored 19 points against the Minnesota Lynx. He did well. Paige Bueckers, Enrique, Atlanta Smith, and Kier. Well, actually, I would like to see more Kier than Atlanta Smith. So Kier back in the lineup along with Lee. Now Lee needs to improve. You can't get blocked and stripped by Olivia Miles. You can't have a little guard be stronger than you. You have to develop your physique. You're tall. We appreciate you being tall, but you don't have strength. We know this because why does Olivia Miles block a shot? That should be an easy 2 points for you. That's embarrassing. You get laughed at with somebody like that blocks your shots. Someone like that shouldn't be blocking your shot at all. That's embarrassing to me. I was embarrassed for Lee. When Lee got that shot packed, I said, Lee needs to get stronger, needs to be in that weight room tomorrow. It's showing that your game is not good enough. Lee does not want to improve, or else she would have done it already. We got to play her because our depth, again, will be compromised. And then you give Kayla McBride on Sunday 43 points on 10 3-point shots. I'm like, why are you giving Kayla McBride all this room to maneuver? Kayla McBride was on a heater the other day. 43 points on 10 made threes. You got to tell me, you got to defend. They don't defend the perimeter well. I'm blaming Rick. I'm blaming everybody. How are you going to get somebody 43 points? And no resistance on defense. That doesn't spell a championship. That doesn't even spell the playoffs. You're lacking to get the playoffs. You're thinking you're in a great position, but you're not. The Fire could easily win in 6 games and be in the playoffs. They're not. But now, you got 5 games. You're 19 and 14 right now, holding on to the last playoff spot. You got the tempo. You got the fever. You got the Valkyries. You got the fever again. And then you got Seattle. So it should be, out of those 5, you should win at least 2 of them. Maybe you lose all 5, and then you get to 500. The tempo on a 9-game losing streak, guys. If you lose the tempo, this thing's over. There's no way this team's going to the playoffs like this. This is poor effort at its best. And don't let the point announcers tell you that they're 4 or 5 games behind, because they're not. They're 6 games behind. In Chicago, they're 7. Excuse me. In Chicago, LA, I'm not worried about Chicago anymore. I'm worried about the Fire. They're 6 games behind. Literally. And they play each other on September 25th. So let's suck it, right? Let's say, for example, we lose all 5. Portland goes ahead and win, 5 in the next 6, right? That game will be of interest. But I don't expect Portland to win all 5 in the next 6 because, let's be honest here. Portland's a basic team. I've been saying this all season long. They're a basic team with no identity. They'll find it one day. But not right now. So I'm worried. Even though we will make the playoffs, I don't expect us to be there long. I don't consider this a success. I consider this a grade of an F. And I'll tell you, it's a grade of an F because it's not consistent. You gotta win the games you're supposed to win. You gotta fight the tough battles. Right now, we're losing the tough battles. We have no balance on both ends of the court. It has nothing to do with injuries. It has everything to do on the court. You don't blow a 20-point lead to a team that's on a 7-game winning streak. You don't do that. You don't get somebody 43 points. That's bullshit. But everyone wants to consider this season a success. I consider it a failure. And then you get to number 4. The Minnesota Lynx have been one of the best in the league. They're at 27-7. Olivia Miles is the front runner for the Rookie of the Year. You might as well just give it the Rookie of the Year at this point. And she's the second in running. Now, someone brought this question the other day on social media, and I wanted to respond. I'm like they asked, how can Olivia Miles pass A'ja Wilson for the MVP voting? Huh? I almost laughed. Because there's no way you're passing A'ja Wilson in the MVP voting. There's no way. Have you not seen her all season long? This has been the last 4 or 5 years of 2010 elite. You're not passing that player. There's no way unless she had an injury-filled year. Then yes, you can pass her. But no, you're not passing A'ja Wilson, and neither is Caitlin Clark. There's no way. I love Olivia Miles. She'll be in the conversation for years to come, but it's not this year. As far as the MVP goes. Now, Rookie of the Year, complete runaway. Kayla McBride provides another headache in offense, along with Nafisa. So Nafisa is getting her game up and running again. She's averaging 19 points a game since returning from injury. So now the Lynx are back. And they're back in championship mode. The problem is their bench. That's the problem. They got to fix it. Once they fix their bench, this team is loaded. Courtney Williams, once she fixes her mindset, you're not stopping the Lynx. And Cheryl Reese is a coach of your candidate. She's the complete favorite, which to me, I will give her the award today. If she wins the next 5 games, that's it. That's it. I give her the award. Now, my last and final tag, number 5, Washington Mystics are on a 7-game winning streak. Whew, they are on fire. You talk about a team that's supposed to be rebuilding. We didn't expect the Washington Mystics to make playoffs or be in playoff positioning. But this team's in playoff positioning. They're loaded. Shakira Austin is healthy. Kiki is playing at a different level. Sonia Cintron has improved. Michaela Arnray, another coach on the court. And then, get this. They messed around and signed Benaje Lanning Hamilton. Even though they didn't need her. They went ahead and got her. Why? Why didn't Dallas step in and got her? Why didn't New York, excuse me, not New York. Why didn't the Aces get her? Or Minnesota? But Washington stepped in and got her. That team's thinking championship. That team's thinking championship. They're not thinking, oh, we're going to improve for future years to come. Yeah, they're going to be there. They're thinking championship right now. We have all this momentum. We're in playoff position. We're in great shape. But they're thinking about the next step, which is the championship. Isn't that crazy? They used 3 picks, and they used 4 in the first round in this past draft. I got to give Sidney Johnson his flowers. He did one hell of a job. He's not a great coach. Let's not blow smoke up Sidney Johnson, because he'll take it and be the same, be a different Sidney Johnson. Let's not give him all that praise. But we're going to give him credit. Not a lot of credit. Let's not get him in his feels, but let's give him a small credit, because this roster was built by him. He took the reins. He's running with it. He's doing a great job. And now I take Jose Fernandez out of the running for Coach of the Year, because I thought he'll be there, but he's no longer in my book. The way the team is going right now, he's falling off. Sidney Johnson has emerged. So now their defense is elite, because they held Angel Reese to 7 points and 1 for 12 shooting. But Angel Reese did have 16 rebounds, so she didn't have a great game shooting wise. But like I said before, the Mystics are here to stay. They got the Aces twice tonight. Excuse me. They got the Aces tonight and Thursday. They got the Sparks on Saturday. They got the Tempo wins next Wednesday, and then they got the Lynx next Friday. So this team is only going to get better. And they're facing a team that's well rested. And Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young. Remember, they rested those 3 players for a Sunday matchup against Liberty, because of the awful schedule that the WNBA made. So the Mystics are here. They're not going to be an easy out in the playoffs. They're going to be tough to beat. Really tough to beat. And Jose Fernandez should learn from Sidney on how to build a team to add strength. We don't have that in Dallas. That's why we'll be at home. And you let weak guys Portland take over. If Portland wins 5 of the next 6, which that's highly impossible, then that matchup against the Portland Fire, which is on August 25th, is significant. If Portland finds a way to win 5 games in that stretch, it'll be a tough task. But the expansion teams, they're used to, they're used to building their franchise from the ground up. They're used to winning games like this. And so now it's time to buck up and play. It's time to buck up and finish the season strong. Because remember, you got 2 weeks break. On some of them, they got 2 weeks. If Kelsey Mitchell it's not USA basketball, she's got 2 weeks to recover. So does Dallas. So does the Washington Wizards. So does Secure Austin. For a long playoff run. So that remains to be seen, guys. And so now, let's recap before we leave. So, Coach of the Year from me, Shola Reeves, Naomi Osaka. Let's see, who else would I want to put in there? I was going to put Sydney Johnson as my 5th one, but I want to put, here's the thing, I want to put Shola Reeves, Naomi Osaka. Let's see. I was going to put Sydney Johnson. He'll be my 5th one. I want to put Stephanie White on there. I think Stephanie White has done a great job. So Stephanie White, my 3rd one, and then I want to put not Chris DeMarco. I don't like his coaching. He sucked. Becky Hammon. She's always in the running, so I'll put Becky Hammon on there, and then I'll put Sydney Johnson. So that's my coach of the year. Now my top 5 MVP candidates will be A'ja Wilson, Olivia Miles. Okay, Olivia Miles is my MVP candidate. Let's put Kelsey Mitchell on there. Kelsey Mitchell, 15 straight games or 20. I think it's 16 now. 16 straight games, so 20 plus points. And then I will put, let's see who else. I'll put Brianna Stewart on there too. The way New York has came about in the last few weeks without Brianna Stewart, and then I got to put Paige Beckers on there. So I'll put Paige because of our record. So Paige was number 3 in my book, and now she slid down to number 5. It's a tie between Paige and Caitlin for me. I put Paige because I feel like Paige has the upper hand over Caitlin Clark. Not necessarily, Caitlin's a bad player. Caitlin has done a great job. I'm not going to take that away from her. But I feel like Paige has done even better this year, keeping us in it. And so I'm not, there's no disrespect. There's no disrespect between my top 5 coach of the years and top 5 MVPs. I mean, I honestly, if you ask me, I think Stephanie White, has done a phenomenal job. If you ask me. But, you go 8-2 in the month of July. Your second best outside of Dallas Wings, because Dallas Wings had a winning streak like that. They went 7-1 in July. So the 2 best teams were Dallas and Indiana in July. So for me, I do think I put Stephanie White in that conversation as the MVP. Excuse me, as coach of the year. Not necessarily she's going to win it, but the way that she's faced a lot of backlash. You're dealing with 15 personalities on the team, and you kept Indiana in it. That's the thing. That's huge. You kept them in it. Caitlin Clark has played well. Aaliyah Boston continues to shine every game. Kelsey Mitchell's played it phenomenal. Not sure why she's not on USA Basketball, but that's a different story. I already told you about it. Michaela Timpson put her in the starting lineup. So the Cunningham's played well in spurts. There's going to be other players at some point. But the way Stephanie White has pushed these buttons, you can't shy away from the best. So I got to give her a lot of credit. All right, guys, that is my show for today. Now next week, let's talk about. Now next week, let's talk about more WNBA stuff on the other side. We're going to recap all the games. Let's see if any moves have happened. Let's see if Dallas continues to lose. Let's see if the Fever bring up more drama. And let's see who has proved their MVP office. So let's talk about that next week. Thank you for listening to my show, guys. Make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcast at, and I'll see y'all next week. It's Beyond the Game on Fish Radio.
Hey world, this is Jamie, host of the Jamie and Genthy Show. Broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fish Pro Studios. Log on there. Sports talk from basketball to football and your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie and Genthy Show. Hope to see you soon on Fishbowl Radio Network. Jump in.